was this year, it was just 2 months ago or so, that Abqaiq, a major Saudi oil processing facility, was attacked.
Abqaiq is the world's largest processing facility. It has a capacity of about 7 million barrels a day. It was running about 5 million barrels a day when it was hit. If the oil market is a sort of like a circulation system in the human body, Abqaiq is its heart because it controls not just half of Saudi production, we're going to talk about it in a second, why Saudi Arabia in particular is so important, but it controls much of the spare capacity, much of the quickly producible oil that were there to be a disruption, Saudi Arabia could bring on. And so a disruption to that single plant of about 1.5 miles square, had it succeeded in causing long-lasting damage, I believe would have sent oil prices into that. We'd be sitting here at well over $100 a barrel and probably going into a recession.
Are you as pessimistic about Bob about the role of Abqaiq in kind of both global oil markets and just the kind of functioning of the global oil machine, right? Like, is this, in your mind, would we have seen, for instance, 3-digit oil prices had they not been able to repair the facility as quickly as they were?
There's a lot to be made about sort of shale, which to some extent is true, sort of the rise of shale in the US. Shale investment and growth in shale production is able to respond much more quickly to price shocks than conventional US production has been in the past. Or say, especially something like, say, the pre-shale, where was the frontier in US oil and gas production? It was way off Arctic offshore, deep water Gulf of Mexico. Lots of promise there, lots of reserves if you're interested in increasing US oil production. The problem is if you want to start up a new deep water offshore Gulf project, start now and you'll see oil like 5 years from now, like at best. Shale can respond much more quickly than that, which is good, but there's limits to that. And what makes shale, and I agree with Bob here, not a swing producer, is that it's not a light switch.
With the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, I think we have now seen the assemblage of massive military presence in the region, a number of bases sprinkled across the region, military bases, but also the backlash here at home to the financial and human toll of those wars that has resulted in a political mood that is not distinct to President Trump, that is not distinct to the kind of progressive left of the Democratic Party that we hear out on the campaign trail, but is in fact shared across the political spectrum and now has become part of the Washington establishment approach to the Middle East, which is, it's not our problem.
In general, I think we are sort of complacent now about our ongoing vulnerability to oil supply disruptions in the Middle East because of our shale supply revolution.
There are many economic reasons and physical reasons and engineering reasons why we'll be burning oil for a long time. And yet to me, this scenario sounds a lot like pretty effective climate policy. Because if there's one thing you want to do to get American consumers to move to electric vehicles, for instance, it's move the price of gas around a lot.
If part of the path to decarbonizing transportation is going to be high gasoline prices, I'd much rather those high gasoline prices come about for policy reasons, i.e. a really big gasoline tax that actually properly accounts for the cost of carbon and everything and all the other bads that come from gasoline, than sort of high oil prices and high costs of supply. If gas is going to be $5 a gallon, that's coming because oil's $150. That means, we're drilling lots of expensive wells in not particularly promising places, as opposed to actually, keeping oil supply down, having a robust tax that actually disincentivizes use of,
in other words,
internal combustion.
Like the bad part of having volatility as climate policy is that then you just get all the.
Yeah, you actually have real costs of high production, as opposed to if you have a tax, particularly if you design the tax wall in a way that can actually mitigate a lot of the volatility. Yeah, you're getting a couple wins at once.
Excellent. Thank you.